The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. So begins the Tao Te Ching, one of the most mysterious and profound texts ever written. 81 short verses that whisper more truth than entire libraries of philosophy. It is said that the author, Lao Tzu, was not a preacher or a prophet, but a quiet observer of the human heart. A man who, after serving as an archivist in the ancient Chinese court, saw the growing greed, noise, and corruption of his time and chose to walk away. Riding westward on the back of a water buffalo, he was stopped at the city gate by a guard who begged him to leave behind his wisdom before disappearing. Lao Tzu agreed and wrote a small book, a collection of verses so brief and so deep that they have shaped over 2 millennia of human thought. That book was the Tao Te Ching, the book of the way and its virtue. The Tao is not a religion, it is not a rule book, it is a mirror, one that reflects the natural order of existence. To read it is to walk through mist. The more you grasp, the less you hold. It does not promise enlightenment, it invites remembering. Remembering that which the noise of the modern world has made us forget, the quiet rhythm of being. To truly explore the Tao Te Ching, it helps to approach it not as a book to read quickly, but as a journey to experience that needs to be mapped. Its verses are brief yet profound, each one a doorway into timeless wisdom. To make this journey more approachable, I've divided it into 8 parts, 8 themes that capture the essence of Lao Tzu's teaching and how they still resonate in our modern world. First, we will seek to understand the ununderstandable, the Tao itself, the silent source of all things. Then we will learn its core practices, from the effortless action of Wu Wei to the profound power of simplicity and stillness. We will see how the Tao redefines leadership, not as force, but as humility, and how it finds harmony in the yin and yang, the dance of opposites that can make us whole. Finally, after gathering these timeless lessons, we will see how this ancient wisdom has flowed through history and conclude with a final reflection on how to walk this path, one still step at a time. Let us begin this journey, one step at a time, into the quiet flow of the way.
Part 1. The Way That Cannot Be Named. The Tao is the way of all things. It existed before heaven and earth, before form and name, before thought itself. Yet the moment we try to define it, we lose it. Because the Tao is not an idea to understand, it is a flow to enter. Lao Tzu writes, "The Tao is empty, yet inexhaustible. The more you use it, the more it flows." The Tao cannot be seen, yet it creates sight. It cannot be touched, yet it moves all things. It is the mother of all under heaven, giving birth, nurturing, and returning all to itself. To the modern mind, this may sound abstract, but think of it this way. Every day we live within the Tao. The breath that fills your lungs, the rise and fall of the sun, the heartbeat, the tide, the seasons, all move in silent harmony. We too once moved that way, until we learned to chase instead of flow, to label instead of listen. In our world of definitions, we have built systems upon systems, but we have forgotten the soil they rest upon. The Tao Te Ching is not against reason. It is against forgetting what reason came from. It reminds us, those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. The Tao is beyond the noise of explanation. It is the quiet knowing that needs no proof.
Part 2. Wu Wei, the Art of Effortless Action. Among the most profound ideas of the Tao Te Ching is Wu Wei, non-action. But Wu Wei does not mean doing nothing. It means doing without forcing, acting in accordance with nature, in rhythm, not resistance. The river never struggles to move, yet it shapes valleys and wears down mountains. This is the essence of Wu Wei, movement without strain, intention without control. The modern world celebrates effort, the constant grind, the endless hustle, the glorification of exhaustion. But the Tao asks a question so simple, it feels subversive. What if the greatest power lies in not forcing at all? Lao Tzu writes, "The softest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing." The sage, he says, acts without ambition, achieves without striving, and influences without commanding. The paradox is clear. When we stop trying to control life, life begins to unfold through us. A tree does not rush to grow, yet it reaches the sky. A cloud does not decide where to go, yet it waters the earth. When we act in harmony with the Tao, things happen through us, not because of us. In a time where humanity tries to bend nature, time, and even consciousness to its will, the Tao whispers a countercurrent. Do less, but with more awareness. Flow, and you will find your way. Part 3. Simplicity, Stillness, and the Virtue of Less. Lao Tzu saw the world filling with desire, people chasing gold, fame, and control. He saw noise replacing silence, abundance replacing balance. So he wrote, "He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough." The Tao teaches that the more we seek, the less we see. When the cup overflows, the tea is wasted. When the heart overflows with wanting, the spirit empties. To the Tao, the beauty of life lies not in addition, but in subtraction. A vessel is useful because of its empty space. A home is peaceful not because of its walls, but because of the quiet it holds within. Today, surrounded by screens, notifications, and endless comparison, the lesson of simplicity feels almost rebellious. We fill our days with tasks and our minds with noise, forgetting that peace is not something to find, but something to allow. Lao Tzu wrote, "The sage is content with what he has. He does not seek more. Having what he needs, he finds rest in the Tao." Simplicity is not poverty. It is wealth of presence. In stillness, we rediscover depth. In silence, we hear the universe breathe. Lao Tzu gives us 3 treasures: simplicity, patience, compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Perhaps the Tao's greatest act of rebellion is this: in a world that glorifies speed, it teaches stillness. In a world obsessed with more, it praises enough. Part 4. Leadership and the Invisible Power of the Sage. The Tao Te Ching is not only a spiritual guide, it is also one of the oldest works on leadership. Yet its vision of leadership is the opposite of modern ambition. The best leader, it says, is one whose presence is barely known. When his work is done, the people will say, "We did it ourselves." The Tao values humility over dominance, strength that does not boast, power that does not control.
True authority, Lao Tzu teaches, is not seized. It is earned through virtue, through te, inner power that arises from harmony with the way. The sage leads not by command, but by character. He influences not through fear, but through quiet example. When he acts, things fall into place. When he speaks, people listen, not because of his title, but because of his presence. In the modern world, leaders often seek to be seen. Louder voices, bigger promises, constant visibility. Yet the Tao reminds us that the greatest strength is invisible, like gravity, guiding all things without ever shouting its name. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. To lead the Tao way is to lead without ego, to serve without seeking reward. It is the leadership of nature, silent, patient, and enduring.
Part 5. Yin and Yang, the balance of opposites. The Tao sees life not as conflict, but as complement. Being and non-being create each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. This is the mystery of yin and yang, the dance of opposites that keeps the universe in balance. Yin is darkness, stillness, receptivity. Yang is light, movement, expression. Too much of one destroys the other. Harmony lies between. Modern life often glorifies yang, action, achievement, noise, dominance. Yet in doing so, it forgets yin, rest, reflection, gentleness. The Tao Te Ching calls us to remember that both are sacred. Night is not the absence of day, it is the womb that gives birth to it. To embrace both is to return to wholeness. Know the male, yet keep to the female, says Lao Tzu. Be the valley of the world. The valley is low, but all rivers flow to it. In humility lies power. In gentleness lies endurance. To live the Tao is to breathe in duality without dividing it. To see gain and loss, joy and sorrow, success and failure, not as opposites, but as mirrors. As long as we chase one and reject the other, we suffer. When we embrace both, we return to peace. Part 6. Timeless Lessons of the Tao. The Tao Te Ching is a manual for harmony, not control. It teaches us that forcing outcomes often destroys them, that chasing clarity often breeds confusion. The Tao does not resist, it responds. It bends without breaking, flows without fear. The highest goodness is like water, Lao Tzu says. Water benefits all things and does not compete. Be like water, humble, adaptable, patient. In today's world, where time feels scarce and ambition endless, this teaching becomes an antidote, a reminder that rushing does not bring us closer to meaning. The Tao is the art of trust. Trust that life unfolds at its own rhythm. Trust that silence can be strength. Trust that gentleness can overcome force. The wise do not rush ahead. They know that every season ripens in its own time, and every path, when walked with awareness, leads home. The Tao does not demand belief. It invites alignment. When you breathe with the world instead of against it, even chaos begins to sound like music.
Part 7. The Tao Through History. For over 2,000 years, the Tao Te Ching has traveled across empires, languages, and philosophies. In China, it became the soul of Taoism, a philosophy of balance, humility, and harmony with nature. In Japan, its echoes shaped Zen, simplicity, directness, and silence as the path to truth. In the West, it touched poets, scientists, and seekers. From Carl Jung's psychology to Alan Watts' reflections, from martial arts masters to minimalist thinkers, the Tao's voice has flowed quietly, transforming all who truly listened. Each era rediscovers it, because every generation forgets what it means to be still. The Tao is not ancient, it is eternal. It is the breath between heartbeats, the silence between thoughts. The more the world advances, the more we need to return to what never moves. Part 8. Reflection and Takeaway. The Tao Te Ching ends not with answers, but with awareness. It reminds us that the way cannot be owned, only followed. That wisdom is not found in knowledge, but in knowing when to stop seeking. In the stillness of surrender, the Tao reveals itself, not as a distant force, but as the quiet rhythm inside every living thing. The sage does not try to shine, yet his light fills the room. He does not try to lead, yet others follow. He does not cling to life, yet he is never apart from it. The modern world tells us to become something. The Tao invites us to simply be. When you stop running, you begin arriving. When you stop forcing, you begin flowing. When you stop speaking, you begin hearing the silence behind all things. The Tao is not out there in mountains or temples. It flows through your breath, your heartbeat, your patience, your kindness. You don't need to find it. You only need to stop resisting it. And so, as this journey closes, the voice of Lao Tzu still whispers through time. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. For the way cannot be taught, it can only be walked. Gently, humbly, one still step at a time.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more philosophical videos like this.